Hi there fellow players and viewers, I'm Tommy, this is Hard Made Easy. Today we will talk about something that I haven't seen anywhere else on the internet, on YouTube, on Reddit, Discord, whatever. We will talk about the story in Survivor.io, connecting the dots and predict the future of Survivor.io, and if I'm right, it's gonna be huge. Follow me through this. We will start with the survivors in Survivor.io, starting with Common. If we take a look at his description or backstory, was volunteered for the hibernation project after the disaster, later awoken by the trial of dreams during a human counter-offensive operation. This backstory was written in the very beginning of Survivor.io. I don't think they have the full story written at this point in the game from the very beginning. So this is more like basic stuff. The only thing we can take from this is the hibernation project and maybe the trial of dreams. I still haven't figured out what the trial of dreams is, but we remember that. Moving on, Tsukiyomi, one of the few civilians who didn't join the hibernation plan, so insanely skilled with a sword that she chose not to live in the underground shelter. The only thing here is hibernation plan didn't choose to live in the underground shelter. We now know about the hibernation plan and they used shelters, underground shelters. Next up is Catnip, once a human who worked in technological components research with a specialty in E-cell research. From this we will remember E-cell. Next up is Worm, always masked and uses a voice changer. So mysterious to the point that even the EDF's files have nothing on him. Worm moves between large organizations, handling information for a living. It's said that for the right price, he can obtain even the moon base top secret files. From this, we will remember EDF, always masked and uses a voice changer. And the last sentence, moon base top secret files. By this we can confirm there is a moon base in the Survivor.io's universe. Next up is King, once an ace agent of a certain major organization, loves her spirits, a pastime which since consumed her since she left the organization. No intel is available on this survivor's career. Rumor has it that she was dismissed from the organization for a failed mission caused by her inebriation. She was unemployed and staying at home, but was pursued by Common's mystery concoction, which was actually his homebrew Molotov, into joining the Survivor team. From this we can confirm that it is another organization than the organization the Common is within, and we have no intel for her. These two, Squidward and SpongeBob, these characters are from a collaboration Abby had with Nickelodeon, and collab things are rarely canon for the main story of a game, a movie, comic. So we just leave it at that. Next up and last one is Wesson, non-commissioned officer on active duty for the EDF, commander of the 5th Survivor Squad and Common's direct superior. Initially strongly opposed to the inclusion of King in the 5th Squad, but later acquiesced to the decision in a drinking showdown when Wesson blacked out. In reality, he slept for 3 days after losing the drinking game, thus missing the review meeting. After King's audition forced the entire 5th Squad into silence about the incident. And with this, we can confirm that EDF is a military organization. And we can confirm that King comes from an organization that Wesson doesn't like. So let's remember all of this info. And now we will continue with the description of each chapter. We have all seen the intro, the movie, when we are starting the game the first time. And we see this, there is an experiment going wrong with a rat attacking the scientist. Then we have a transition showing us hordes of zombies roaming the streets in a big city. And that's where the game starts. And this continues for some chapters until chapter 5, where we learn that to try to contain the spread of the zombie parasite, actually. From chapter 6 to chapter 9, we are in a kind of forest, woods, and we finally reach a ranch. And here they are mentioning the E-cell, but they are mentioning the whole name for it, the eternal cell parasite. Going back to our equipment, and we check the eternal necklace, mystical divine item that ignites, blah 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 blah. Let's remember the mystical divine, and they call all the eternal equipment like this, mystical divine. Back to chapters, all the chapters is giving us note that we is on the move all the time, reaching new stuff. From chapter 11, we are entering a lab, and this one is called Core Control. Looking at the description, it looks uninfected, but it seems deep secrets are buried here. We are leaving the lab and we are now in the deserts. And here we have to look at the picture showing us a cactus. This cactus is called Saguaro cactus. And you can only find this cactus in the southwest part of the US or the northwest part of Mexico. And we haven't got any information that we leave by either boat or airplane yet. So we can confirm that the first accident leading to the disaster with this zombie apocalypse started in the US. And the storytelling continues with us in the desert. We reach a volcano, and they are telling us a live volcano that was once dormant lies ahead. Here it's hard for me, as a Swedish, to pinpoint which volcano they are referring to. So maybe my American viewers can come up with some suggestions for that volcano. And we continue and we reach a lab again. And the story will continue for us finding new labs. And we are looking for answers to why this accident, why this zombie apocalypse happened. Here we reach coastal forest. This can be anywhere on the western coast of America. And we may have some more clues within the description. And maybe you guys can help me filling out the blank spots here. Anyway, we reach shipyard and we are boarding the ship and we are fighting to the captain's quarters. And we are leaving the boat, and now we do know that we have traveled overseas and we have left the US. This chapter may tell us where we are in our world because of the Stonehead, but we are soon entering an underground tunnel. And when we get out of that underground tunnel, we actually reach a mountain with snow. And first I thought this head here looked like the heads on Easter Island. But that doesn't make sense with the underground tunnel. Let's continue with the story. Again, we reach a lab, and here we see a reactor core again. This time it's a yellow though. And here we are battling to the surface. And now we reach the cold. And during these chapters I can't tell where we are in the world. It's cold, and then we reach a city. The only thing we can take from this picture is the neon lights signs. And we learn that the street in this city was once bustling, and that's all we get from it. Travel over a bridge and we reach an airport, and we are reaching the cockpit. However, we see this here, this blue tank thing. I can't figure this one out, but the first reactor we saw was blue, and maybe that one was creating some kind of new fuel to fuel our planes and stuff like that. So maybe this is a new fuel created from that blue reactor. We reach the cockpit, taking control, and we land somewhere else. Here I am very confident we have reached the Netherlands, because it says We drop in on a beautiful airport of flowers, and the flower here are tulips. And in this description it says there are giant windmills lined along the roads. And this also fits in the Netherlands. So I am very confident to say that we have reached Europe. This part is a little bit harder for me to pinpoint because they are calling this maple forest. They are not just calling it forest. And maple trees are like scattered all over Europe. So it's very hard to pinpoint where we are right now. And the maple forest thing continues actually quite long, because at chapter 91 we see the dam outskirts and we still see this maple tree. Yet again, it's hard to pinpoint which dam they are referring to. But this place here is the lab again. And here we have some green goo instead of the blue goo. And you can actually see something within this goo as well. If we go back to the cabin clash, there is nothing in a shape of an embryo or anything like it. But it is a shape here. There is something here. Some form of creature. And here, the last chapter ends with, we'll finally came face to face with the source of danger when we get out of here. So let's have a summary of everything we know so far. We know there are two organizations within this world. One organization is the one all our survivors belongs to, like the good guys. Then we do know there is a evil organization which have these labs all over the world. And this evil organization is trying to harness the power from this mystical, divine, cosmic power that comes from eternal void and chaos thingies. And a very interesting detail here is what the EDF stands for. It stands for Earth Defense Force. Like the whole surviving people here have come together and formed this Earth Defensive Force. This name indicates that the source of danger doesn't belong to Earth. It's somewhere outside of Earth. And we do now know that the eternal cell parasite was the thing that affected the mankind, turning them into zombies, and also mutated the animals and the bugs. And we take a look at the description of the last equipment set we have. When we are looking at the description for Sword of Disorder, it says an unfeathered power from the other side of the cosmos. So there are something on the other side of the cosmos, and it reached Earth. And we take a look here. The anniversary festivities continues. The world's survivors have assembled at Earth's final bastion. Now all you need is to find clues to open the doors to the lab. Again, we are trying to reach the lab. And this have me thinking we will face a special monster on chapter 100. Or maybe it's not even gonna be called chapter 100. Maybe it will be something completely else. And maybe we can't kill it just by ourselves. Maybe it will be like this event when we were planting trees. And the whole world was counted of how many trees we were planting. Maybe it will be a total damage from all players attacking this boss, and I'm sure we will defeat this boss. However, I do think, and this is because some people at Habby likes to tell a story about this game. They are not like taking random chapters and putting them together. There is a story behind it of what's happening in Survivor.io. If we defeat the monster, we are done on Earth. We have done everything we can. And like I said, we are at the final bastion. I think we will defeat the monster, but I think we will travel to somewhere else in the universe. And this actually makes sense, because then Habby can make whatever changes they want with Survivor.io. They can put in new game modes, new map types, and do something else with the game instead of having this open maps, vertical maps, and square maps. We can have something completely else. And when we are somewhere else in the universe, we can actually face new mobs, new bosses, because right now Hab is limited to have people and animals on Earth mutated into something else. But if we are somewhere else in the universe, they won't have any limitations. They can do whatever they want. And that makes sense and keep the story going. So I think we will face another dimension, another place in universe, and learn more about eternal, void, and this chaos equipment and the power they have. We will have these anniversary events for 27 more days. And Habi have changed the version name of Survivor.io. We have had this version 1.0, 1.1, 1.2, etc., and so on and so on. But now the recent update changed this to version 2.0. So this is like a sequel, and I'm extremely excited of what they will do with it. They have no limitation, and it can be really, really amazing. So I'm thinking that we will face the last boss on Earth. Then we will actually get a cutscene of what's happening. And then we will face new chapters in a new dimension, a new universe. So, how excited are you about this? Please tell me in the comments. Alright, that was all I had for today. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment. Tell me something good, tell me something nice. Until next time, take care, bye!